Yo.
Hello. Oh, there we go.
Yo, how's it going?
Doing pretty well. We have an
Nice.
Arcadian coming up
What's up?
in. We have an Arcadian coming up in
Oh,
like
nice.
2, 3 weeks. 2 weeks.
Okay.
Uh,
What are you, like, seated in that?
Pretty bad. I mean, not. I'm not making top eight or anything.
Okay.
Uh, Probably I could
Alright, well, an
maybe
Arcadian is
make.
the perfect chance to pop off, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this is a
Mm-hmm.
good time to make a good fucking win.
Alright, sick.
Lots of foxes and marts.
Mm-hmm.
Marth, I think so. Kind of watched most of your live stuff at this point. I think I haven't watched the Ditto because we kind of went over that last time we met.
Mm-hmm.
And we went. I haven't watched the Falcon one yet. Because the main people have been giving problems are foxes and marts.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the marts one really helped. I like definitely saw a huge change. Just like knowing, like, okay, yeah, push them to the corner and then like mix up these options.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It helps to have a game plan.
yeah, and I'm definitely not even close to like getting that game plan like even close to perfection. I'm probably 25% there, but
It's alright.
when I'm
No,
just like,
nobody's that good at the Marth matchup yet.
yeah, uh, I've been watching a lot of Rom is
Who?
Rom ROM.
Oh, Rom.
He's
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Aren't
like
you, like, that guy's, like, biggest fan or something?
I'm his manager. I'm his manager.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
different.
same thing, same thing.
I represent him.
Okay.
But man has awful tweets. Never look at his Twitter
I
if you want
haven't.
to have any respect for him. Uh, but no, that's my homeboy. Uh, but yeah, I've been watching a lot of him because he kind of runs train on the marts. Like at one point, he was like he had 3-0'd Umar like 8 sets in a row.
Mm-hmm.
A majority of those games being on FD. It was kind of like nuts. And he doesn't like go crazy or anything. He just kind of like plays really solidly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I've been watching him a lot, but he's been kind of on hiatus, so there's not been any like new games that he's been playing.
I see.
Um, but yeah, I guess right now is Fox because even after watching your Fox video, uh, a lot of it just seemed like don't get hit, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
still really bad about not getting hit.
Okay.
The main way I've been improving the matchup is just like grinding out uh like 20xx and just like pretty much playing like 15 minutes at a time, just like two stages for
Mm-hmm.
like 7 or 8 minutes, and just
Mm-hmm.
playing against him, and that's helped a lot.
Yeah, that's really good.
I, I didn't realize like how I guess combo mode in Uncle Punch is really helpful. I guess for specific lines, but
Yeah, that's true. It also just helps you to, like, be comboing with only
mhm,
combos in mind.
yeah,
Like, you're
yeah,
not worried about getting reversaled or anything like that. So it just
mhm,
helps your brain build up like that structure, I
right,
think.
yeah. I think one thing that, especially in the video that I wanted, didn't fully understand very well is how to get these reversal positions on Fox because there's gonna be a lot of Foxes at my skill level that I can do reversals on because they're not playing like
Mm-hmm.
super cleanly. But I kind of want to understand those a little bit better. Because it kind of you kind of went over them pretty like slide off shine, spot dodge shine. I'm actually really bad at, even though it's because I learned it really early, and then everyone told me it was really bad because it's so.
Who told you
Uh,
Spot Dodge Shine was
well,
bad?
it's not that it's bad. It's just that like it's like going to ledge, right? Like going to ledge is like good, but it's also like what everyone does.
Like, you're saying you were basically just, like, overusing it.
Yeah,
I
so
see.
I
Okay.
got worse at it. Um, and a lot of the times it comes up is when I miss my shine out of shield, my spot dodge. Uh,
Right, right.
so I
That's
gotta,
really
and then I
common.
just yeah, and then I just have this really easy spot dodge shine in front of me. But because I'm trying to spot dodge, I mean I'm trying to shine out of shield. I don't recognize I can just shine out of the spot dodge. And then um, you mentioned like
All right.
SDIing.
Well, don't worry about that one too much, because, like,
Okay.
I remember having that problem too. Like or like a while ago. Like, I remember
Hmm.
I would get a lot of spot dodge instead of shine out of shield, but that
Hmm.
eventually just, like, goes away. Like, you're not gonna have to get used to reacting to missing the shine out of shield with spot dodge. Like, if anything, when you miss your shine out of shield, you'll just, like, jump and not shine or something like that.
Yeah, I think I finally understand, like, know like the visual cue for it too. 'Cause especially like between like drill like and Nair on shield, like the timing is super different.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know like there's like a point where your shield blinks, and that's when you're
Mm-hmm.
actionable out of hit. I've been using that a little more to get a little bit better at it, but it's still like not perfect
Oh.
or evenly.
So what I actually try to do is I do it like from the opposite direction, where I try to do it somewhat well, like obviously first of all you have to know like whether it's gonna be a nair or a drill like ahead of time. Like that's not like a reactable option unless it
Mm-hmm.
hits like all the hits of drill or something. But like
Mm-hmm.
if you know which one is coming, like you see him like full hopping into it or something like that. Most of the time, I judge the Shine Out of Shield based on Fox's landing time, because in my head I'm like, okay, he's got 9 frames of landing out of his L canceled aerial, and like most likely, if I do everything perfectly, I'm gonna hit him during like the last couple frames of that landing leg. And so I just watch Fox, and I'm like, let's pretend I'm the Fox, and I'm getting hit by this shine in the last couple frames of landing leg. That sort of helps me, like mentally. I'm not sure if it would help you, but that's what I
Mm-hmm.
use.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, I sent you some replays. The
Okay,
first two you can just watch in order. I think that's the order we play them in.
the first two
I
what?
haven't looked. The first two that I sent you,
Mm-hmm.
they're in the order that I sent them, as the
Okay,
order that they're in. But the other ones I'll have to go check slip really quick.
okay. All right, I've got screen share up. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right, great. Okay. It's a little messy so far, so I'm just kind of like I don't have a lot of info from it yet. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
watch a little bit more. Hmm. Okay, okay. This is like a big one. Is you're getting caught into this idea that like you need to make the most of the current situation you're in.
Mhm.
And that's basically like misguided, because a lot of times you're going to end up in situations that you don't really like. And if your goal is to just maximize like do something good out of those situations, then a lot of times you end up kind of like you lose your control of the match because you're just responding to whatever happens. And so you end up in this kind of like hit in the direction of my opponent type deal where okay, so like for instance, it's kind of like okay, so my opponent is here below me, so I will attack there. Now they are above me, so I'll go up there to fight them. And now they're here, so I'll jump up to fight them. And now I'm attacking because they're there, and they're trying to hit me. And now I try to hit them, and they try to hit me, and I try to hit them, and they try to hit me, and I try to hit them, and they try to hit me. And it's like, you see what's happening there? Like it's
Yeah.
just literally like you're both just like, looking like me versus Kalindi boxing match, where like you're just kind of swinging at each other, and that is the truth is that Fox can kind of get away with doing that versus Falco. Not fully, especially once you're better. But you,
Mhm.
as Falco, cannot get away with that at all. You don't get to like play like a Spacey that much against Fox, because Fox is like the
Mhm.
faster Spacey. So you're more, you want to feel a little bit more like you're like not like a floaty, but like maybe like a Marth versus Fox. Like Falco feels a little
Mhm.
bit closer to that mentally than like Spacey versus Spacey type vibe. Uh,
Mhm.
so you kind of want to like if basically if the situations in this matchup reduce down to like a very reductive set. So here, let me just pull it up really quick. And let me just show you. So basically, what you want in this matchup is all right. So let's say we have something like this, like a range like this, something that we would like. 1 second. Okay. Let me see. So I'll do. boom, boom, something like that. And then from the Falco end, I get like boom. Is it not? It must be too slow. So let's assume I shoot like one laser first, but it hits him, and then he does this, and you get that type of thing. I'm sure you've seen that like a bunch of times, where it's like you laser Fox, and then he jumps in, and you either get like this up tilt trade, or you win off of it, and you get this big win. And the same thing will happen a lot of times with Fox, just sort of getting like these type of deals, and you'll just sort of like laser, up tilt, trade, whatever, and get a kill. So Fox like full hopping in and getting up tilted. First of all, it's a little bit of a read on your end, but it's like a major situation that will come up really often, and especially when you're playing against a Fox who's like who's not so aggressive. Like they're not doing like these movements a lot. They're more doing like this type of thing. Like there's definitely like a difference that you can see in like the way they're playing. And if they're doing more of these, then you're more likely to sort of like Fox is doing these, he's doing these, and then he does this, and you get closer and you go like this, and you wave dash, boom, and you up tilt because he's gonna do like this. So that's super common. Another super common situation is like, let's see. So maybe I do this, and then Fox does like turn around up tilt, right? Or like spot dodge, and then I get this. That's really common. Another one is I get like, I'm lasering, and then Fox actually does get like this sort of like jump in type deal on me, and I can't get like the up tilt. I usually just roll. That's like really common for me, is like I'll be doing this, and then Fox jumps up and I'm not ready, and I just roll. And then I just do retreating laser. Oh, roll, retreating laser, roll, retreating laser. A lot of this matchup is like avoiding all these random like Fox is gonna be doing this the whole time, and your job is to be like, no, I don't want to play that. Laser, laser, laser. No, I don't want to play that. Laser, laser. Oh, up tilt. Gotcha. Like that type of thing. So your job is to like make Fox play the situations that you really like. Let me just go through a couple other like really simple ones. Another one is like you're here and he dashes in after the laser and you just hit this one. Like this is like one of the most basic ones. But a lot of times what'll happen is if you are like, let's say you're just in the middle of a fight and you're fighting it out and you're doing whatever, you don't really know like what's up. Fox can kind of just guess anything. You're not really like communicating anything. But if I'm here and I'm like getting these, and Fox is like dashing in, like he's here and dashes into a laser, and then I move like this and he dashes out of the laser, and then I do this and he dashes into the laser, at some point I'm gonna get one where it feels like he's kind of chasing me. Like after each laser he's moving closer because he's getting kind of frustrated. And at that point, that's when I hit him with like the fade back down type thing. And sometimes they'll get frustrated, and then I just do this and hit him with the up tilt. But basically, the fade back downer, the up tilt on the full hop, the bait on like Fox in place, up tilting or spot dodging or something, and maybe like a very similar situation where you land a laser and then they shield, and you get kind of like a nair pressure because maybe they jump out of shield versus like a shield pressure with the nair, you know. And that is low-key like it. Like you just want to like look for those situations pretty much. There's like more variations and stuff, but when I'm playing a Fox in tournament, whatever, I'm literally just looking for like, oh, either they're gonna give me like, oh, this is another one, I get laser dash JC shine because people a lot of times like try to dash out and they get hit by that. But basically, if it's not in the small list of like 3 or 4 situations that are my friend, I just don't play it. I just roll, I full hop, I retreating laser, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it is.
What about
sort
when they get really platforming?
What's up?
What about when they start like just like full hopping to plat?
Yeah. So that's like.
Hitting.
Okay, so that's kind of like a whole separate thing. Actually, I shouldn't have closed Uncle Punch. Maybe. We had to switch stages anyway, I guess. Okay. So we're in a situation where Fox is just like up here, right? Something like that. And they're sort of jumping around. And I noticed already in this video that the guy went to like top platform, or the Fox went to top platform, and then you got like a little confused. Let's see. I don't know the best way to describe it. So basically, when either Spacey is on the platform, they create like a very awkward pressure situation for the other Spacey. Because if you're Fox and Falco is like, if you're here as Fox and Falco is here, you don't feel like you're winning. Like, this feels, like, particularly uncomfortable for Fox, because Falco can get run-off laser, he can get short hop off attacks, you know, run-off attack, he can do, like, waveland mix-ups. There's all kinds of things that, like, the other player can do when they're on the platform. The platform is kind of, like... The way I like to talk about it is each platform is a little bit of, like, a fortress, or, like, a safe house, that people can kind of, like, retreat to try to reposition. But it's not a very good offensive position. And the reason is that, like, let's say I want to hit this spot, I have to jump horizontally all this distance, and I have to vertically cover all this distance, you know? So unless, like, I'm right under here to just get down-aired, or, like, in runoff range, if you're here as Falco and Fox is, like, here, you can't get him, like, at all. There's no way to get him. And the situation is really similar, like right here. If I'm right here, Fox literally, like, physically can't get me at all. Like, if he tries to nair off or something like this, I'm just going to get a laser, and then I have the advantage out of my laser position. Or maybe he jumps at me and I take the side plat. Think of it as, like, there's not really, like, an answer, you know? For either side. It's really, like, there's parts of the neutral game in this matchup where, like, both of you are kind of just gonna be moving around the platforms for, like, a while. Because, like, I go here, and then you go here, and then I go here, and so you go over here, and then I go here, and you run to this side, and it can kind of, like, cycle. It can kind of, you can kind of just get stuck moving around the platforms for a while with nothing really happening. There's, like, a couple important rules of thumb to keep in mind. First one is don't let Fox fall on you. So if Fox is, like, here and he's doing this and he comes down on you from, like, the top plat or something like that, your goal is to get out of the way. Roll is super duper OP. If Fox is falling and you roll, you're always safe.
Okay.
It's like you just want to roll, like, probably a lot in this matchup when Fox has, like, a vertical position. Horizontal position, don't roll. Fox loves when you're doing this on the ground. Because he's just like, like, flying around. But if he's falling in any way or playing vertically, a roll is just, like, almost always, like, a safe answer. A lot of times, like, what I tell people is, like, Fox will full hop or do, like, vertical movement on platforms 10 times. And 9 times you will roll out and reset with lasers. And the 10th time, it's kind of predictable and you up-tilt it or shine out a shield or something like that. The majority of the time, it's kind of just, like, a situation where you want to make sure that he doesn't get you. So that's, like, the first rule of thumb, is not to let Fox fall on you. Obviously, like, the corollary, whatever, the opposite of that is that, like, you can kind of fall on Fox. Like, if Fox is below you, you have, like, a fairly good position. It's only when Fox is like this that you just don't interact. Just, here we go. Like, here, this is dangerous. Here, it's not dangerous at all. There's no way for him to do anything. What he'll do is he'll go to the top plat, and that is pretty annoying. It's definitely just annoying on both sides. Like, what you can do is you can kind of, like, move to, like, the side plat and kind of, you know, move your way up. I really like going to the side plat and then full hopping, or full hop double jumping like this, because it just creates, like, he can't get above me now. You know, I'm above him for sure. And you have all these options with, like, the edge cancel on the plat. You have jumping up with shine. You have, like, lasers like this. The thing with lasers like this is that they're, like... They're kind of just, like, this extra little optimization. They don't really accomplish a lot. So I would say, like, for now, don't really worry about, like, these lasers too much. You'll just get, like... He'll just, like, jump and nair you out of them a lot. I would say mostly just focus on, like, something like go to the side plat and then come up here like this. Or you can just sort of move around like this, and then, like, honestly, him coming down is not, like, the fastest thing in the world. Most of the time you can get away. And, it's basically just think of it as, like, a spot where, like, yeah, Fox is annoying there, you know? But he's also kind of annoying here. And at least from up here, it takes him a second to get to me. So he's not just instantly in my face with, like, a nair. He has to fall on me, and so it's not as powerful of a position as, like, it feels. It feels really awkward from down here. And even during, like, my set with Leffen, I sort of broke under the pressure a little bit at Genesis, and I kind of was, like, attacking into it and stuff like that. That's just bad. You don't want to do that. Let me see. So you don't want Fox to fall on you. What was the other thing I was going to mention? Yeah, the other thing is to kind of keep in mind, maybe there's a third thing. But, like, basically, Fox's shine on the platforms just does nothing, right? It just makes you slide off. And your shine on the platforms literally, like, wins the game. And so, you can have a little bit of confidence when you're on the platforms and when they're on the platforms that, like, well, if we play the platform game, like, drill, shine, like, basically drill and shine are just not as good for Fox. And so it kind of puts you at a little bit of an advantage to play the platform game. That's, like, the way I try to look at it.
Okay, gotcha.
But most of the time, when you're here and you're, like, if Fox is, like, here, and you're here, and you get this, and then Fox just jumps up here, you know, like, you do laser, approaching laser, and then Fox is like, like that, and I'm here, I will just literally do like this or something. Like, I'll go to top plat, I'll drop lasers, I'll shoot lasers from over here, and I just kind of, like, wait. There's just not, a lot you can do. You can kind of, like, move into this area and, like, kind of threaten. And like I said, I like going from top plat, too. But overall, it's just, like, a fairly passive situation, and you can create the same thing by going to platform, too. So, it's not, like, a big negative for Falco, I feel like. Okay, that's the end of that little rant.
Actually, I sent you a Twitch VOD for a game I played more recently. I didn't pick these VODs specifically, I just picked box VODs I lost recently.
Mm-hmm.
But this is something that... this is probably like a more recent set that I...
Okay, so you want to go over this instead of, like, the Slippy file?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Watch the Slippy file. It's also really embarrassing. The first stop is so sad to watch.
And you're also just watching like, no, don't look.
Yeah. Why did I pick that one? Yeah, this one is more relevant, I guess.
Okay.
Also, it's in 30 FPS because we don't have good bandwidth there.
That's okay. Oof. Alright. So something I basically tell Falco players against Fox, and it's not like a hard rule, and it will make life harder against certain extremely patient Foxes in the short term, but you should generally play the Fox matchup without approaching laser. Like, approaching onto Fox laser. Like, if Fox is over here, and you're here, obviously approaching laser is really good. But, like, basically don't try to land approaching laser shines on Fox. Or, like, approaching onto him pressure. Like, this matchup is just basically very, like, bait safety-oriented as Falco. And every time you do an approaching laser, it gives the Fox a chance to just, like, randomly up-smash you. And once you're more experienced and stuff like that, and you're really comfortable with not approaching lasering, it's kind of like when Sheik does, like, back air walls or whatever to, like, Foxes, and if Sheik just goes for boost grab, she's not going to get it, but if she just keeps doing the back air wall over and over, then the Fox is kind of spacing right outside the back air, and then he can get mixed with, like, a boost grab. And it's really similar where, like, you just need to completely establish that, like, I don't need approaching laser, I'm just going to literally play without it. And then once you've fully established that, you'll kind of run into certain Foxes who make it hard to, like, for anything to happen, because they're like, well, if you're not going to do anything, then I'm not going to do anything. And then eventually you can start incorporating those approaching lasers, and those will, like, really throw those players off. But for now, you mostly want to just play without approaching laser, like, at all.
So, like, treat it kind of like a level 3 mix-up or something like that? Or the...
Yeah, like, literally just don't use it for, like, a while.
Okay.
Like, you will do better without using it. Like, essentially, like, the approaching laser lets you make a big read and trick somebody, you know? And, like, it's nice to have those, especially if you make the read, but you can win without it. And I've won many, many sets against Fox without shooting a single approaching laser.
Okay.
The reason another big reason why I tell people not to do it, just to go on it really quick, is that, like, it basically allows you to be not like weak, but, like, impulsive. Like, it lets you be like, this situation is kind of confusing, and I've been shooting lasers for a second, and I don't really know what to do, so I'm just gonna approaching laser read. And that's how I used to use approaching laser when I started the character. So it's like, I just, like that one, you know? Whenever you're just kind of doing these, These are just sort of like, I don't know, I'll just make like a big approach read. And in this matchup where everything is very like, do anything to survive, do anything to avoid being hit, having like a piece of your brain that's like, well, when I feel like it, I also approaching laser, it like takes away from that discipline a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Same with like these like approaching nairs. So something that might help is don't think of trying to like never reach out to hit Fox. It's like you want to slap Fox's hand away from reaching into the cookie jar. That's kind of like the whole thing. It's like you're just waiting. You're like, don't do it. And he's like, cookie, bam! You slap him. That's like how you play it. There's not like a lot of like, come here, Fox. You know, like that's what Fox wants. So like instead of this like nair here, did I go too far? No, it's right here. So yeah, instead of this nair here, this is a great position to just kind of keep lasering, keep moving around with your lasers, looking for position. So it might feel like a stalemate, or like when you're playing, it might feel like not much is happening, because Falco's answers oftentimes remain the same, where like, is Fox at this range, or is Fox at this range? And it's like, well, I'm going to laser both of those ranges, right? So it's like, it's not that different from the Falco end. But from the Fox end, it's hugely different, because it determines, like, can I short hop at them? How can I enter run in time? Can I get my full hop out? How close am I to the edge of the stage? Fox has to, like, calculate all these variables, even though your answer is going to be laser every time.
Okay.
And so by moving around and just lasering and like continuing to laser, it feels like you're not doing a lot, but Fox has to solve a math problem like every single laser. And so you can keep that in your head. Like every time I laser Fox, like it takes way more mental effort for the Fox to deal with a Falco laser than it does to shoot a Falco laser. So the more lasers you shoot at them, the more like mentally overloaded they will be. You know, if you do one math problem versus 100 math problems, you're probably going to mess up more often doing the 100 math problems. So I sort of like to give him more problems, more things to think about, and it's much more likely that Fox will like slightly mistake a range and try to nair, or something that's really common for me is I'm lasering around and then Fox will just think he sees this situation that isn't there, and he'll like dash up smash. You know, it's really common. They're like, oh, dash up smash, and it's like, nah, that wasn't the situation at all. Although typically I'm still lasering, so the laser cancels the up smash, but I take a note of it and try to bait it like later. But yeah, essentially you never want to reach here, because Fox can literally just get out so instantaneously. I actually need to show you this. I've shown this to a bunch of people. And it's basically just that like Fox can dash out of laser so fast. It's actually like not okay. So like right here. So if I do, oops. Okay, like that, right? Pretty close. And that's at this range. It's like let's get a little bit closer. How about this range? This range is cutting it close. Huh? Ooh. Look at that.
Okay, so this goes back to your point that, like, don't approach.
Yeah, like, if you are gonna approach on Fox, like he can just get away even when he's this close. So like you're not gonna hit Fox if Fox is trying to escape from you, and so secretly the answer to this is eventually approaching laser. But the truth is that we don't need it, because we don't need to chase him. He's running into the corner on his own. So if you just did another laser here, now he has put himself in the corner. So just a lot of times, like, shooting more lasers, you only really want to hit Fox when he's coming for you, like the cookie jar thing.
Gotcha, okay.
Because that's when he's vulnerable. That's when, like, so, like, right here, during this, Fox is vulnerable. during this, he's not vulnerable. You're not gonna hit him like at all. Like notice how he's like hasn't committed anything. See, he tried to back at you, and that's when you hit him. And now it's like, all right, now what's he gonna do? Well, he tries to nair me, and it's like, well, during the nair, the mix-up didn't work out. But I'm just saying he was vulnerable here because he was approaching. But when he's just running around like this and he's just trying to avoid you, you cannot catch him. Do not try. So yeah, so you try to catch him when he's basically in like avoid you mode, So and it's just not gonna work. But then he tries to up smash, he's in danger. Tries to grab, he's in danger. He tries to drill, he could have gotten hit out of that. Tries to attack you again. If you had done a little dash dance bait, he would have gotten hit. Stuff like that. See, that's what you want to keep in mind. Like, you're not going to need to, like, reach out and get him. He will give you these openings while he's trying to hit you. Mm-hmm. And you really don't want to get caught in, like, Fox's whole, like, I throw out a move, you throw out a move, I throw out a move thing. Just full hop and roll are your friends to avoid that sort of, like, scramble zone. Fox really wants to just keep scrambling. Okay, let's see.
This one was also it's really weird. He's been playing since like 2009, but like on and off. Mm-hmm. So he has like a lot of experience in terms of time. But then like you'll see in the set like random shit like back throw F tilt on edge like worked really well against him. Mm-hmm. Like new knowledge like worked really well. But I just don't understand what all the new knowledge is because I just kind of know everything in terms of like, the last 2 years, like all the compendium of knowledge.
Right. Okay. So what do you mean by that, or like what does that imply?
Just like he was like pretty solid, like fundamentally, like he almost beat like some pretty like decent players.
I see.
In bracket, but also like it was just a really weird player to play.
I see that. Okay. Okay, so in a situation like this, you missed it. So first of all, when you're here, you need to, like, anytime you have like broken with Fox, like the neutral breaks, you have to start shooting lasers like as fast as you can. That is like everything. Like the lasers need to be out, or Falco's a bad character. So when you break, so it's like if this laser had basically come out a little earlier, this would have been a pretty easy punish because you would have already been on the ground here. It's a nice easy fix at least. And yeah, when you're in a spot like this, I know this hurts, but when you're here and you miss this tech chase, it's over. It's completely over. There's no like, well, this is Peach, so I can kind of do something. No, it's Fox. There's nothing here. You cannot attack afterward. You should never immediately attack after Fox gets out of your combo like this. You should just establish the lasers again.
Okay, so focusing more on like when is punish and when does it reset to neutral instead of just kind of like always trying to jam.
Well, that's just like the thing. Like, it's like Falco is just, I don't know how to describe it. Like Fox is like the big rock in this matchup. Like Fox is the one that's like, he kind of wins by default. Like Falco kind of has to come up with all these little like basically Fox wins if Falco doesn't do all the right stuff. But when Falco does all the right stuff, Fox can't really do a lot.
Okay.
But like if you just flip your coin and Fox flips his coin, you're losing. Like you're losing like every time pretty much. So you just have to, this matchup is all about like super extreme like discipline. At least in terms of like learning it. Like that's one thing I've noticed is like basically I started out playing this matchup like super hyper disciplined because Kalindi forced it out of me by punishing me every time I approached anything. And over time I've definitely like adjusted. Like there's like a long period where you go through where you are trying to do the right answers and you are trying to reduce the game down into the states that we talked about earlier, like the very simple win states for Falco. And Fox is just basically trying to create chaos and do whatever he can to stop you. And that's like a really, really frustrating like era of learning, but it's one that you kind of need to enter into, where like everything that Fox does, you're trying to do the right answer, trying to be very disciplined. It kind of makes you a little bit predictable, and you'll get really frustrated because every dumb Fox in the world is just gonna like spam random buttons and get through. But eventually, you get good enough at like the zoning and like the defense that they can't really break through, and then all that work you've been doing towards like these organized situations is worth way more than them just trying to randomly create chaos and stuff like that. So now the way I play the matchup is actually, it's kind of evolved past that, where I'm able to play the matchup a little bit looser and like a little bit less like confined. Like the way I'm telling you to play it is more confined. Because I'm just really comfortable in the fact that like I kind of know all the right answers to what they're gonna do. And so like I don't know, like I'm basically way more inclined to do something just like stand there for a second and then wave dash back. Whereas like if I saw some other Falco who's learning do that, I'd be like, what are you doing? You need to like laser right away or whatever. But it's like I'm just basically comfortable enough with the idea that like I'm good enough now at the matchup that the Fox knows that I'm just waiting for him to try something. Anything. And I'm looking for my counter hit. And that gives me a kind of presence in neutral. Like a presence in neutral where Fox won't just immediately attack in. But it's kind of that thing we were talking about earlier. Like, you have to establish completely that Fox is like, if you approach me like an idiot, you will die, you know? And then you can start being like, well, you're not going to approach like an idiot, so I can play a little bit more like aggro and stuff like that. But this is like the first layer is like total safety, total right answer to everything. So this is really good. I actually, like doing these lasers here is fine. But there's no reason you can't just go to the side plat here. And the side plat's a great position because if he stays on this platform, you can laser him. And the second he comes down, you just run off laser or drop laser, and you're in like a solid position where you've lasered him on the ground.
Yeah, actually, I have a question about that. So, would you rather, when you're trying to get onto side plat and start lasering from there, rather full up all the way up and come down with a laser, or would you rather?
No, you have to wave land. You have to wave land.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's faster.
Yeah, the problem is that if you full hop and Fox at that particular moment happen to drop through and run, you're now trapped. And
could you do it against Peach though?
Yeah, you can always full hop against Peach.
Okay.
But you don't need to. I would still recommend wave landing here, just because you have access to your lasers quicker. But yeah, you can literally always full hop against Peach.
Okay.
Maybe not actually a little bit on this stage. Like this stadium in particular is a little weird just because there's no top plat. So full hop is just naturally like worse. But yeah, to maintain your strongest position, I would say waveland right here, and then just short hop laser, and then you can. I actually really like it because you can do drop through laser, right? You can do short hop laser, you can do run off laser, or you can do short hop approaching laser, and you get this short hop, and you land like here. And the laser comes out, and then you can just like short hop approaching laser, and then dash away, and like and just do it again. And it allows you to be like a little bit more pressure-y or like active than the Fox, who's just kind of full hopping here. He doesn't really have much.
Actually, I have one more question. Yes. Whenever they're invincible off of Angel Plat, on tri-plat stadiums, on tri-plat stages, I usually go for some sort of like full hop to top plat mix-up. So like full hop up, waveland, edge cancel back, or I'll full hop, double jump back, or full hop, go all the way around and shield on the opposite side plat and try to bait them into naring on me and shield up shine. But on Pokemon and FD, I don't really know what to do whenever they're invincible.
Okay, so let me just pull up onto the punch again really quick. It'd be easier. So, okay, the first thing I'll preface it is that invincibility is one of the areas I feel like I'm not perfect in. But basically the plan is... So let's say Fox comes down off the Angel Plat, right? He's like right here, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I do is I stand right here.
Mm-hmm.
And basically Fox's options are he can do drop through. And so if he drops through, I'll react about here. And when he gets to right there, I just do this, and then I full hop. And he can't get to me in time. Like, this is 2 seconds. Like this, and then this, and then this, and that's it. And a lot of times I actually get baits on Fox, where I'll be here, so I'll be here, and then what I do is I just wait for them to fall through. So you're here, and I go boom, boom, and they're not getting you. The other thing is if I'm here, and then they just drop onto the platform, then I'll kind of like go to a side, and most of the time they come down like this or something, and then I'll roll. And that's just kind of like guaranteed safety. If you're doing it on like Stadium or FD, it's a lot worse in some ways, but honestly, on Stadium, I really like going to this plat, and then I just full hop to like this one.
Okay.
You can also just do something like this, because they need to cover both. And like, if you're doing this, like, you're pretty safe. Like here, the main thing is just you don't want to be on the ground, because as long as you're in the air, he can't grab you, he can't shine you. You know, the only thing that's really gonna get you when you're up here is up air, and up air is pretty dangerous for Fox. Like, he can get down air through or shine, all kinds of stuff, you know. The other thing is sometimes he'll just be like, he just gets right on top of you, and then I just do waveland down and I Z-hold like that.
Okay.
And that's in like the worst case if I have nothing else. But normally I do something like this or something like that. FD is really similar. On FD, I'm just so shameless. I just literally start the game every time. If they're on, or like start the stock every time. Let's say they spawn on this side, I go to this side, and then they run over. And normally during the invincibility, they do this, like they like approaching laser across the stage. And so I always just do like power shield, power shield, power shield, and then I full hop like that.
Okay.
It's like such a habit at this point, like power shield, and then you can mix it up between like I said, like the backflips. Like, dude, if you honestly do this, like, what's Fox gonna do to that? It's higher than his full hop. But I usually like the dash jump. I think the dash jump is really good because out of the like, if I'm running like this, I can get this backflip or I can get this one. And like the difference between like this and if I jump at the same point and this is like, there's no one can cover that, right? Like that, I landed here versus landing there, and especially when you add in like the full hops and stuff like that. Like, there's all kinds of, like, double jump down air, or, like, full hop like this, and then double jump back waveland like that. You're gonna get caught, like, occasionally when people hard read you. And people do hard read my up airs, or they hard read me with up air sometimes. And sometimes they hard read you with grab or whatever. But, like, I have not found a situation where that in-between stock format against Fox, like, felt like it was a negative. It feels like it's pretty solid.
Okay.
Even if I doubt it's perfect, and there's probably ways to like optimize it, and like going to ledge and all those kinds of things. I think definitely the biggest thing that'll help, or one of the biggest things to keep in mind, is the thing I talked about where like you want to hit Fox when he hits you. Because you seem to want to hit Fox when he's scared of you, which is like the natural impulse. But when he's scared of you, you can't hit him. It's like trying to hit a puff who's afraid of you. It's like not gonna work. Ooh, okay, this is really good. This is more like what you want. Although a downer would have been better, but this was still good. Where you're like zone lasers, zoning with the lasers. See how like you're kind of creating. This was actually very, very good.
Let's go.
I'm actually really impressed by this. So you're still invincible here. You go for this shine read on Fox's waveland off. Totally fine. You're here. Really like this turnaround laser. Then you immediately do a dash back laser. He's shielding. I really like this. He goes for the nair, or he goes for the, like, he thinks you might nair, so he goes for the full hop out. And if you did aerial here, like the approach that I keep telling you not to do, he would have just like landed on you and hit you. But you don't go for that. You go for another laser, and then you're here, and I love this little waveland back, and then this laser, and he just doesn't know what's happening. Like, honestly, that little waveland back, like, got him. Like, you did it, and he's just like, what's Falco doing? I should go on the attack. and then you're just ready here with this laser, and then you get like this punish. That is like every opening against Fox should feel like that. Like every it should just be, it should feel like almost annoying that it's like, not almost annoying, but it should feel very routine, that it's just like, okay, I shoot the lasers, oh, Fox got confused and tried to hit me, dead. Like, I've just won so many Verdugos without actually like winning any mix-ups. Like, literally, I just shoot the lasers, the Fox makes up a mix-up in their head, which is wrong, and fails at it, and then I hit him.
Okay, great. Yeah.
And then you add in your actual reads on top of that later, and that's why none of the Foxes that I play can beat me right now. Despite the fact that my Falco is not in great shape at the moment. Oh, so good. I actually really like this. And so, yeah, the rules about not approaching Fox, they kind of go out of the way a little bit when he has a shield up. Because you can, like, provide pretty significant shield pressure. Like, right here. Like, this isn't a situation where I'm like, you gotta get away and laser, you know, something like that. Like, I think this dash and shine here is exactly like what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, like, hitting Fox's shield doesn't really do all that much. Like, your goal is to... what's the best way to say it? When you're shield pressuring Fox, like... you basically just want... You want... Kind of like when you're lasering Fox. Like, you just want Fox to feel pressured and try to do something, and then you hit him for that thing. Mm-hmm. Like, hitting Fox's shield over and over is actually just like a losing situation, because he has shine out of shield. It's super crazy, sick, nasty. It's fast. Like, it's so fast. Like, he can definitely shine out of shield you for this down air. So it's like something that really blew my mind when I was picking up Falco that Mango does is he will do late down air on shield, and he'll do shine, short wave dash back to maybe like here, or just like a medium distance wave dash back. So he'll do down air, shine, wave dash back, approaching nair. And it's like, you don't think it, like, what is it approaching nair there? But it's actually crazy because, like, as the Fox, you just feel, I'm being pressured, Falco backs off, I should do something, and then you get hit with the nair. Or he'll do late nair, shine, wave dash back, dash full hop shine, and he'll catch you full hopping here, because it's like, you basically want to give the Fox, like, a moment where he's like, the shield pressure's over, I can get out, and then you punish that. You're not really going to get much beaten on his shield. You can get shine grabs occasionally, but overall, it's if you just keep hitting Fox's shield, it's pretty positive for him. Okay.
We take those.
Let's go, Falco. I love the side B. Yeah, it's literally just like, you're not reduced, like, basically if you don't reduce this matchup effectively to like the few situations where it makes sense, then you're just gonna be like fighting ghosts the whole time. Which is like essentially like what you're doing. You're just kind of like swinging in like a dark, like, you seen that video of that guy in like the haunted house,
yeah,
and they turn off the lights and he's just swinging. That's how it feels. And that's really common in this matchup, and I completely understand how it feels. And that's why we have to play that very specific, like, zony game, because, oh, that was good.
Wait, what I do?
You just did, like, you just caught him lasering right here. Or you caught him with your laser. Like, you're just kind of moving around with the laser, and then you catch him here, and you're like, oh, I'm moving in on that. And the problem was that he got this, like, down air landing thing. Like, you should have nared because you lasered him out of the air, probably, or done, like, a later down air to, like, pressure, something like that. But, like, regardless, this was, like, this was good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Like
it's one thing I've
if you
definitely
do
been.
this like 1,000 times, I will be happy because you
Mhm.
like you got the laser win. You just lost like an extra nuance past the laser win, and like we don't really care about those yet. We just need the laser wins
Okay.
first. And yeah, dude, the it almost sounded like you were like, yeah, it's really weird. This guy is getting like back throw forward tilted, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody gets back through forward tilted. I get back through forward tilted, like friggin' Cody, Mango, Zane. Everybody gets back through forward tilted. It's just
Mhm.
good.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it's just good. It's just like really really strong. And so okay, so even though you get this win here, it's not that useful. Like it might like you're in tournament, so like it doesn't
Mhm.
matter that much. But like assuming this was like in practice, right? Um, this situation where you're just sort of fighting it out, like you haven't shot a laser in like a long time, and you just kind of go like, okay, so the shield is fine. You go shine, and then you're like, oh, you could have shined him here, but you
Mhm.
go shield down air, wave dash, down air, shine, and like when you get this opening, it's like yeah, right, but like
Mhm.
if this was in practice rather than in tournament, you can basically just like disregard the situation. Like it was like kind of useless for like improving. Like this is it's just like a you won the situation, but not in a way that you want to win the situation.
So just kind of like unearned, essentially.
Yeah, it's like it's not it's like worse than unearned. It's like you did the wrong thing and they still gave it to you, so you have to like extra be like, "No, that was nothing." So your brain doesn't like get the joy from it. Cuz if your
Mhm.
brain gets like the little dopamine, you're going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And that's every Falco in the world is like they just like
That's what.
they get pressured and they're just like, man, one time I downed it 4 times and it won me the set. Go, go, go. It's like,
Yeah. That's why
no.
I played for 4 years with my college roommate, uh, and we were both really bad, and he refused to like grind or get better, and we weren't playing anyone else. So I high dared all the time because it worked. And now that I'm like finally like, competing and going to like locals in NorCal now, because I was in South Carolina, there's like no scene there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like the instant like short hop instant dare is probably like my biggest like weakness. I can't stop doing it. In Uncle Punch, I can sit there and I can low hit marathon shield with dare every time hit shine before you can grab.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but then in a game, it just like completely falls apart. I go back to just like it's a really satisfying movement to short hop like instantly like flick down.
Oh, short hop downer
Uh,
feels great, man. Like,
yeah, but it's something I've been trying really hard to work around. But um,
well, okay, so
yeah,
it's like a two-parter where like you get rewarded when the down air hits, and you
yeah.
also get punished sometimes for trying a late down air. Like you go for late down air and they just hit you out of the air, and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, if I had just early down air, like I would have won that. So like when things, because this is still like a big thing for me. You can watch my sets. Is that when I get scared, I start early down airing way more,
Mhm.
and it's because I'm like, ah, they're gonna hit me. I need the early down air to like protect myself, and then they shield and they win the mix up, and I'm bad.
Right.
Um, so let's see. It's like being like an addict. Like you just gotta
Yeah.
like you gotta accept that like you're gonna have the temptation to early down air every day for the rest of your life. The battle's never gonna stop, man. It doesn't get easier. You just
Yeah. No, I feel that. Okay.
no. So it's like you gotta accept you're an addict. It's fine. Like you gotta work through it. Down air anonymous, you know. But like it's unfortunate, but it's really like that. Like none of us have gotten over it. I still do the down air when I get scared. It's unfortunate. The way to get around it a little bit, kind of funny. It is kind of like being a drug addict. Is that like you just literally have to live the laser life and slowly like rebuild your reward systems. That like no, like the clean living laser life it makes me happier. Like I get up early and I jog and like you know I'm
Mhm.
much happier as a person now without the drinking or something like and it's
Okay.
just this long term process of like consciously convincing your brain that it's better to laser And deep down,
Uh-huh.
there's always going to be a dark part of yourself that's like, nah, nah,
Okay,
the
so that's
down air
good.
will
I'm
fix your
glad.
problems.
I'm glad to hear that doesn't that it doesn't go away,
No,
or at least
it,
other
it
people feel this
doesn't.
too. Okay.
No, it doesn't go away. You get better at like playing the laser one, and it's just a crazy feeling because it literally feels like no, we're lasering today. Like we have the discipline.
Okay. I needed to hear that.
Yeah, that it's like an everyone thing and not just like a
Yeah.
you problem. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like notice how you get in these spots where it's like, basically, man, I've been saying basically a lot today. I usually say it a lot, but I've been spamming it today. But let's see, what was I gonna say? That yeah, a good like litmus test for like, are you being dumb? Is how many attacks have you thrown out in the last 2 seconds or 3 seconds? And
Mhm.
so if you ever end up with something where you have like this, okay, so after this little section that we were in, okay, let's skip through this combo. So it's like attack, 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 attack. Like you saw how many attacks were in that short little period?
Yeah.
That means that you're not creating the situations you want. It's just like a good like what's that thing from from the movie? Like it's just the thing that brings you back. It's like the thing from Inception.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
But like basically like when you notice that you've like done like 3 or 4 attacks in a row, it's a really good moment. It's just like you can kind of train yourself to like, whoa, why am I attacking over and over in a row? Back off and laser or full hop or something like that.
Mhm.
So that's something that I definitely use is like you don't want to be like attack, 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 attacking. It needs to be like very like laser move, laser move, laser move, hit. And I would almost say that like the majority of your moves should hit Fox, like
Mhm.
not of your non-laser moves. Not like all of them or anything, but it's kind of like a good benchmark that like your moves should generally be used when they will hit Fox, not when they might hit Fox.
Mhm.
And it's just like the nature of the matchup. He's so much faster that you have to play really, really careful. It's interesting because like most of the time the issue in this matchup is honestly that people aren't hitting their edge guards. But you
Mhm.
haven't really had too many of those situations yet, and I think it's because you're playing kind of like a lot of the messy spots out. So you don't, because like the messy spots lead into the messy hits, into the messy combos, into the messy edge guards, whereas like an
Mhm.
organized neutral leads to the organized, calculated first down air in the exact spot that you knew it would hit, and then it can kind of get a little bit more organized, and then we can work into the edge guards. And that's what I'm hoping for. Like I'm hoping that you basically
Mhm.
come back in a little bit, and you're like, hey, I got all this stuff figured out, and now I win neutral 17 times the stock, and Fox lives to 150, and I hate my life. And then I'll be like,
Mhm.
haha, yes, welcome. Welcome, brother. Like,
Okay.
now it is time to learn to edge guard. So that's kind of like
Okay.
the roadmap is like we got to get this down, and then the edge guards will become the problem.
Yeah, I have that exact problem with Martha right now, where I'm getting it into the corner. It's awesome. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading their dashbacks, I'm approaching, I'm stuffing them into the corner, and then it all falls apart. They dash attack or some shit, like they roll
Right.
into me, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's an entirely new game. But I know I can like get them in the corner, and so I've just been working on that and getting a lot better.
Right, and that's great,
Uh,
and it just works in like layers, right? So now that you're in the
mhm.
point where you're like, I can get into the corner just fine, and then it all crumbles. And it's like that's perfect because that's what we talked about.
Mhm.
So like
Yeah.
once then you add in the edge guards and stuff, it's one piece at a time. You eventually get to like this level where people can't beat you because you added
Cool.
on
Okay. Yeah. This is a
each little
good
factor
feeling.
one at a time. See, like there, it's like, oh, missed edge guard, but there's not really a reason to talk about it because the other stuff is like way too prevalent still.
Right. Oh, one second, my roommate's here.
No, you're
I'll keep
good.
going push to talk.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're about at an hour. I actually don't
Yeah.
really think there's too much more to say. I think like grinding that like disciplined like laser mentality in the matchup, like not letting him fall on you, just following those basic rules just over and over and over is really like the way forward right now.
Mhm. So to just boil down neutral game, uh, just kind of just focus on lasering them and keeping some good space between you two, and wait for them to fuck up. That's should be my main focus.
It's your goal should be to stay safe from Fox. You
Okay.
shouldn't even really be thinking, oh, they're gonna mess up or whatever. Your goal should be basically to keep yourself safe and like like for instance, like there's a lot of spots where you do like laser and Fox will like approach. A lot of times right there I'll just full hop away. And I'll go to the side plat and I'll come down with more lasers and kind of just do that.
Mhm.
And like
Okay.
that is the type of thing you need to practice. Like obviously if that's all you do, you're not really gonna hit anyone and eventually they'll just kinda get in and hit you. Uh
Mhm.
but like that is the thing you need to practice the most, like, regardless.
Okay.
Is just staying safe. Don't let them fall on you. Reset your situations with lasers. Um, don't like reach for Fox. Hit if you're gonna try to hit Fox. Read that he's gonna try to hit you and try to hit him out of that. Don't like reach for him. Um, and just try to like create order. Like let's say you're in a position where you really want a certain type of situation and Fox does something that is like slightly different from that situation, rather than playing out this new situation, your goal should be to like, how can I push it back to the one I was trying to create? How can I
Mhm.
how can I create this exact same spacing and timing over and over again? And Fox is going to be trying to like throw you off of that. So like just don't get caught up in like I need to not get hit or whatever. Like it's way more important to be like this situation looks kind of close to the situation I know. So I'm going to play out the situation I know and then when something goes wrong, I will slightly adjust rather than like this situation is not the one I know, therefore I need to figure out this new situation.
Okay.
Like your goal should be to try to like reduce it a little bit
Gotcha.
from the chaos.
All right.
Okay.
Sweet.
Any final questions, thoughts, anything
N-
like that?
No, I think that covers it. I
Awesome.
appreciate it.
All right, great, dude. I will talk to you later.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Excellent. Peace.